This is my C8 ZR1, and this is the exhaust system for the C8 ZR1. Now, the reason it is not on the car is my car is actually the very first ZR1 fitted with an exhaust system from Valvetronic Designs, headquartered in Pennsylvania. This ZR1 in particular, my car, was the development car for the C8 ZR1 and ZR1X exhaust systems that Valvetronic will eventually sell. Today, I'm gonna walk you through what the sound difference sounds like over stock, as well as what the horsepower increases are, because we're actually gonna be tossing this car on the dyno later in the video and see how much power it picked up. Again, this is the stock exhaust system with one of the cats, the other one's in a box. This is the stock downpipe and catalytic converter that goes into the very small mid-pipe mufflers and then out the tips. The exhaust system that Valvetronic fabbed for me does still retain the valves, which are controllable via remote, but in the future will be controlled via the drive modes. I'm actually fully catless, so we've done a full catless downpipe in stainless steel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get to the exhaust sounds and testing. So that is what the exhaust sounds like. Startup, revs, launch control with the valves open and closed. However, the videos really do not do it justice. So YouTube videos being what they are, the audio is highly compressed, and obviously your speaker's audio is not going to be up in the decibel ranges that this exhaust can emit, so it won't do it justice even in the videos that you're seeing here and at Valvetronic. It's far better in person, but obviously not everybody can hear it in person, so this is the best we can do. But now we are on our way to my buddy's shop, West Tunes, here in Claremont, Florida. My buddy Bati over there owns the shop. We're gonna be tossing the car on the dyno and seeing what it picks up over stock. All right, we are here at the shop, West Tunes here in Claremont, Florida, tossing the car on the dyno with the Valvetronic exhaust system, see how much power it gained. Last time I dynoed the car was in this very shop a couple months ago. Made 916 wheel horsepower, but it was a lot hotter in here. It's like 95 degrees. Right now it's about 78 degrees. So gonna be curious to see what she picks up on the dyno. Gonna be hard to tell what performance picked up due to the better conditions and what was exhaust, but either way, gonna be interesting to see what power it makes, so. 956.
Made 7 more horsepower.
7 more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Am I expecting more?
Well, no, I'm surprised that it made more on the second run. Usually the coldest run would be the best.
The torque went down like 3 more.
Okay. So 956 total.
Yes,
956. So looking at the sheet here, at max, we made 956 horsepower and 795 pound-feet of torque with the exhaust. Again, whenever it was here the very first time, it made 916 wheel horsepower, and I have to look back at the torque number, but it'll be on screen. So we picked up about 40 wheel horsepower with the exhaust, which is a pretty decent amount for literally just an exhaust. And I'll be curious to see what this car will be making with the intake, because previously we did do intake testing with eVenturi here a couple months ago, but I haven't been able to release those numbers yet because that unit is not yet for sale. But whenever that's all done, with the exhaust and the intake, this car will be making some pretty decent power, especially with no tune. Whenever this car is able to be tuned, it's going to be a whole different game. Lastly, I wanted to kind of go over my closing thoughts about the system, as I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments regarding warranty, regarding check engine light, regarding whether you should do this to your car. First off, going over warranty, does this void any type of warranty? Most likely. I usually say don't do anything to your car that you will be willing to risk paying for yourself. So this is a potential issue you could run. Typical valve back or cat back exhaust systems don't really run the issue of any type of warranty issue, but anytime you mess with the cat specifically, or the downpipes and cats in this case, you can run into that issue. You know, I'm not GM's legal department. I'm not the one that would be confirming or denying any warranty claims, but that is an issue you could run. Keep in mind of that. Check with your dealer, I guess, before you do anything that could potentially void warranty. I'm not too concerned at the moment, but I'm not saying that this would not void your warranty. This particular setup with my downpipes probably would. Number 2 is check engine light. Obviously, these cars cannot be tuned. Thus, if you mess with the O2 sensors or anything of the sort, it will throw a check engine light. This car does have a check engine light, and I've scanned both codes. They're both cat codes, O2 sensor malfunction, because obviously there's no filtration going through the exhaust. If you're not okay with having a check engine light, you can, 1, not mess with the stock cats, or 2, there's a couple different options you can get in terms of O2 spacers that can potentially solve the issue. There's also a module you can buy that plugs into the OBD2 port that cancels out any cat codes. It shows any other engine code if you were to have a malfunction, but it gets rid of the cat code specifically. That's something you could look into. I'm considering that. Alternatively, you could just go with the catback system and not mess with your catalytic converters. These won't be able to be tuned for some time. The Z06 is still unable to be tuned. It's been out for numerous years. ZR1, even though it runs the same engine, I'm assuming is going to be pretty much the same case and won't be able to be tuned for some bit. Lastly, should you do this to your car? That's totally up to you. Obviously, it's hard to give a definitive exhaust review, being that the user viewing the video can't hear what it sounds like in person. In person and on video is totally different for these exhaust systems, and it's really hard to say. If you want something louder, you can always go with just a regular catback, or just cut off the mufflers, leave the cats alone. Or if you have like a Stingray, you can do full long tube headers. Those are tunable at this point. So it's really up to you and what you ultimately are okay with doing to your particular car. I'm happy with how this came out. I think it sounds great. I think it's gonna make for some good content, but that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, comment, even subscribe if you guys want to. Let me know any comments you guys have in the comments below. Gonna be back to the drag strip hopefully within the next week or so to see if this runs any quicker times with the extra, 40 horsepower in better conditions. So thank you guys so much for sticking around if you've watched this far, and I will see you guys in the next video.